Good morning. This is Pamela Bluewater for J&S Biblical Productions, welcoming our viewers to a discussion of whether the solar eclipse today is an act of God or a mere demonstration of science and geometry. With us in our studio is a Doctor of Divinity from Vienna, Austria, Dr. Hermann Steinhauer, and a Professor of Astronomy, Dr. Peter Schuster. Gentlemen, let's keep this discussion civil and intelligent. First, I would like to hear from you, Dr. Steinhauer, as to your views on the sun in a solar eclipse, as we are about to see one take place through the filtered camera lens in our studio.
Well, Ms. Bluewater, a solar eclipse is simply a message from God to remind us of the first 5 verses of the book of Genesis, chapter 1 in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. To make it clear, it was God who created the heavens and the earth, and the light given out by our sun.
I have to disagree. A solar eclipse is merely just a matter of basic geometry. The moon, by coincidence, passes in front of the sun, causing a shadow called an umbra. This is about 71.5 miles wide here and travels from west to east at 1,481 miles an hour. It's pretty simple. And you must be where the Sound of Music originated. What university are you with?
Yes, I can sing. The hills are alive with the sound of music. And by the way, you shouldn't end a sentence with a proposition. And what university I went to is none of your business. Where did you attend school, Dr. Schuster?
I went to St. Lumbago University of Tennessee, and I'm proud of it.
So you went to SLUT. Slut, is that right?
Don't answer that. Gentlemen, let's get back to God in the Bible.
It was God who created the heavens and the earth, not geometry.
Miss Bluewater, Dr. whatever his name is, he's just trying to belittle my education by calling it by its initials.
Gentlemen, let's not denigrate each other's upbringing and watch the total solar eclipse in progress.
Yes, I was about to say that God was giving us a reminder that he is the one who created light and darkness, not Dr. Schuster with his gastronomical geometry.
It's astronomy and geometry, to be precise.
All right. Which one of you can explain how, since the moon is much smaller than the sun, it can block out the entire sun?
I can explain that. This is basically would represent the sun. It's about 400 times larger than the moon, but it's also 400 times further away than the Earth here, making them to appear about the same size. So there's also an elliptical orbit because all the planets go around the sun in not a circle but an ellipse. So when the sun is at its furthest point away from the Earth, it's called the apogee. And then the moon is at its closest point called the perigee. And that helps them get it spaced out just right. Mathematician Johannes Kepler wrote this in 1609 and called it the law of orbits.
Okay, but God made that happen, not Kepler and not Dr. Schuster.
Gentlemen, it's becoming obvious that our viewpoints or opinions are colored by our backgrounds. Is there anything more beautiful, mystical, or ethereal about what we see in a total eclipse?
I'd like to answer that. We should consider who is bringing the sunlight down to us every time we have a beautiful day. If the world and life is just science and geometry, then everything Dr. Schuster is talking about could come from the discharge of the Church of the Open Sewer or the University of Slut.
Hello, my name is Beatrice Clemson, and my church baked a pie in honor of the eclipse. And I happen to agree with Dr. Steinhauer. The eclipse is a message from God that we are all sinners and must repent.
This is preposterous. I've never heard so much theological mumbo-jumbo.
From what church?
I'm from the Church of the Heavenly White Angels.
Well, you look like a total eclipse. You can tell your angels to hold their wings and feathers still and open their eyes wide and watch the signs of the total eclipse.
That's insulting. My church will never bake a pie for your alma mater again. What is it? S-L-U-T, slut? May the heavens condemn your extreme astronomy.
Please, we've had enough opinions. I do have one final question. Dr. Schuster, can you explain why there isn't a total eclipse somewhere on Earth every 28 days since the moon revolves around the Earth every month?
Yes, I can explain that.
Okay.
This model here will help me kind of explain it. This is on a horizontal plane, but in actuality, the planets don't revolve around the sun on an exact horizontal plane. Here's a picture of a comet to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So that's horizontal, and then that's going around a different angle. This probably happens maybe like this over maybe every 100 years.
All right, thank you, Dr. Steinhauer and Professor Schuster. The total solar eclipse is now over, and with that, the sun has now emerged from darkness to shine down on all the trees, birds, flowers, and animals that God has created. So now I ask our viewers the most important question. Is a total eclipse a message and a reminder from God, or just a lot of science put together by Kepler to make it all happen by astronomical mathematics? This is Pamela Bluewater for JNS saying, welcome to a new day by God. Who are you?
I am Johannes Kepler. I wrote the laws of orbits in 1609, and I have some alternative facts. The law of orbits. All planets revolve around the sun. That's number one. Number two, the law of areas. If the sun is in the middle and the Earth or the planets move around, equidistant happens over equal time. And the third law, which I'm sure you guys really know, the law of periods. This is the best one. The law of the square of the period of any planet is proportional to the cube of the semijupiter of its orbit.
What are your thoughts on today's story? We'd like to know. So, leave a comment and subscribe to our channel, JNS Authentic Biblical Productions. Whether it's the Word of God through parables, true stories illustrating parables, or true stories in the life of Jesus Christ with commentary, you can see them all by subscribing to the most comprehensive collection of videos of biblical stories for you and your family. Have a blessed day.